Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is your Vedic astrology coach Rajat Kapoor and welcome to my channel, The Legit Astrologer. In my channel, I make videos on Vedic astrology and I give you the most important transit updates. In the recent times, I have made a series of videos on Jupiter's transit, also Mars transit in the sign of Aries, and also the monthly transit report for June. In case you're new here to my channel, please subscribe, hit the bell icon. In case you like this video, please share it with your friends and spread the awareness. If you wish to book a personalized consultation with me, you can check out the link to my website here and the process of reaching out to me. This video is about an important and an exciting transit update of the month of June, the very hot month of June, and this is about Venus and also Mercury. I'm making an effort here to make a very unique video because this is one of those times where the transit of Venus and Mercury is happening around the same time. On 12th of June, Venus is moving out of its own sign of Taurus and entering the friendly sign of Gemini, and on 14th of June, just 2 days after this transit, Mercury is entering its own sign of Gemini, which is Mercury's home. Venus is going to stay in Gemini from 12th of June till 6th of July, and Mercury is going to stay in the sign of Gemini from 14th of June till 29th of June. So throughout this transit, most of the time Venus and Mercury, they are together in this sign. They will also be conjoined with Sun or Surya for most of the time during this transit because Sun is going to enter the sign of Gemini on 16th of June. So the sign of Gemini is pretty much active. Sagittarius, which has been aspected by all three, Venus, Mercury as well as Sun, is also going to be pretty much active during this time. Though Venus will be in combustion most part of this transit. As Venus is coming out of combustion on 28th of June, Mercury will also be under combustion, under deep combustion for a few days. But Mercury is one such graha which is very used to be around the Sun. So in my understanding, it has very minimum impact as far as combustion is concerned. Though Venus is combust, which is a cause of concern as far as relationship matter from a karmic standpoint is concerned, because combustion is about curse of the king. Venus would lose its significance for some part of this transit. So therefore, we'll have to put in a lot more efforts in order to fix our relationship, our interaction with the world, and things that we use which makes our life very comfortable. Though Venus is being supported by Mercury, you must understand that both Venus and Mercury are Rajas grahas. They have Rajasic energies. They are the most material grahas as far as us humans are concerned. Venus is Jala Tattva, water element, and it is that water which is present in our body which helps us survive. Mercury is earth element, which is Prithvi Tattva, and both water as well as earth element are quite essential for our survival. These are the two grahas that have material energies or worldly energies full of desires. So there are very high Rajasic energies in the sign of Gemini. The sign of Gemini is the natural third house of the zodiac belt. This sign represents growth. It is the Methun Bhava, or in simple terms, it represents karma of your marriage because it is ninth from the 7th house or the 7th sign of Libra. Therefore, it represents karma from marriage. This is also the house of valor, efforts, anything that we do from our hands. Second house or the sign of Taurus is the house of speech. Third house or the sign of Gemini is the house of how we leverage the speech. So it is about our communication, the kind of efforts that we put. So it is an important sign for us because it is the first stepping stone as far as growth is concerned. And both Venus and Mercury, when they come together, they bring in a lot of growth and abundance as far as material comforts are concerned. Venus, from a wealth point of view, represents all the luxuries and all the machines in the world that make our life comfortable or easy. It represents vehicles as well. Mercury, from a wealth perspective, represents cash, which is of course very important for most people in order to live in this world, in order to take care of your things and what you wish to do or acquire in this world full of material things. So both Venus and Mercury are forming a nice yoga in the sign of Gemini. They are aspecting the sign of Sagittarius by its 7th aspect of desire. So very high desires are there in the natural 9th sign of Sagittarius, which is a lot about dharma, fortune, long distance journeys. We will see a lot of travel and fruitful travel or journeys that people would like to take. These journeys could be quite spiritual in nature or they could be purely for leisure. There's also high amount of desire in terms of putting your communication and your learning in terms of developing yourself. higher learning is also represented by the sign of Sagittarius. This is the kind of message these aspects are giving us. Now, Venus would be transiting in 3 different nakshatras. It will be in Mercury Nakshatra till about 18th of June. On 18th of June, it will enter Ardra Nakshatra, and on 28th of June, it will enter Punarvasu Nakshatra. Mrigashira Nakshatra is ruled by Mars, Ardra Nakshatra is ruled by Rahu, and Punarvasu Nakshatra is ruled by Jupiter. And Mercury is also going to be spending time in these nakshatras during the transit. Therefore, the sign of Capricorn, Taurus and Cancer are also going to play a very important role. We are likely to demonstrate some sort of positive results as far as these signs are concerned. So, who will have the maximum impact of this transit? If you have any prominent planets in the sign of Gemini, in the sign of Sagittarius, in the sign of Capricorn, Cancer and Taurus, and also if you have planets in the sign of Libra and Virgo, you are likely to be impacted by this transit. Expect its effect to have on a large number of people. In case you're running through a dasha, antardasha of Mercury, Venus, Sun, Mars, Rahu or even Jupiter, you're likely to be impacted by this transit. Both Venus and Mercury during this time, by its nakshatra based transit, are activating the second cycle of wealth, prosperity, of possessions, of income, and taking care of your family. So these are some of the priorities that are going to be in the month of June and also early July. Now let's understand in a holistic manner how this transit is going to have an impact on all 12 ascendant signs. At a physical level, you must read these transits from your ascendant sign, and at a mental level, you can also look at it from your moon sign. Let's begin with Aries ascendants. For Aries ascendants, first of all, Venus becomes the 2nd and the 7th house ruler, the ruler of your dhana or wealth, family, possessions. This is the house of storage, things that you'd like to store. 7th house of marriage, partnership, relationship, those people who are opposite to you. We also say business or marketplace from the 7th house. This Venus is making a transit in your 3rd house of valor, efforts, in the very friendly sign of Gemini. We also see lust from the 3rd house because this is the Methun Bhava. This is your karma of marriage. Mercury is also making a transit which is your 3rd and the 6th lord. So your 3rd lord of efforts, valor, courage, and 6th lord that represents your daily routines, your deaths and diseases, and your overall focus on health and well-being, your ability to heal others. Your job is also making a transit in the 3rd house. So your 3rd house is pretty much active as far as Rajasic or material energies are concerned. On one hand, there is Venus, which represents interaction. The other hand, there is Mercury that represents management and communication. So communication will be on the rise during this time. One of the things that you must do as a remedy is get some sort of Guru Upadesha. Find yourself a mentor or a guide, that person who you trust, who you could listen to and take some advice during this time. See, there are heavy Rajasic energies, material energies in your 3rd house. So any effort that you put during this time will definitely get you some results as far as wealth related matters are concerned, as far as your relationship is concerned. So there is a karma towards your relationship that is being tested during this time. So take care of this in case you have a partner, spouse. Make sure that you continuously communicate with your partner, you listen to your partner. For those who are looking forward to getting into a new relationship or establishing a new relationship, this could be a potentially favorable time. We also see siblings from the 3rd house. So your communication with your siblings is going to play an important role. You might play an important role in order to support your siblings, whether they are younger, elder, doesn't really matter, but you will have some karmic repercussions as far as your siblings are concerned. The other remedy, which is an ideal remedy for you during this time, is to write blogs. Use your hands, okay, because 3rd house represents your hands. It is an important aspect. So the blogs that you write using your hands, or anything that you do where your hands are involved, whether it is gardening, exercising in the gym, or working in the kitchen, these could be some of the things which could really help you during this time. Both Mercury and Venus are aspecting your 9th house by its 7th aspect of desire. So there are very heavy desires as far as 9th house matters are concerned. Fortune is supportive during this time if it is related to your job related matters. The bottom line is that any efforts that you put during this time are going to get you some sort of results which would favor as far as your fortune is concerned. You're also likely to take some sort of long distance journey, and if it is for leisure or for spiritual growth, this could be potentially favorable for you. So again, higher learning is going to be there. Pick up a skill, try to get yourself enrolled in some course which is quite trendy in nature, which is about emerging technologies, or let's say artificial intelligence, ChatGPT. Try to use some of these things in order to have a differentiated approach as far as your work is concerned, in order to have a very creative approach as far as work is concerned. Those who are interested in performing arts, this could also be a potentially favorable time, because we see performing arts from the third house as well. So singing, dancing, entertainment, acting, these could be some of the favorable things which you could do during this time. And overall, I see this as a positive transit, and I wish you the very best. Let us now talk about Taurus ascendants. For Taurus ascendants, Venus becomes an important planet because it is your Lagna Lord, the Lord of ascendant, yourself, your overall body, personality, your intelligence, your brain, which sits in the first house. Venus also becomes your sixth Lord, which is the Lord of daily routine, deaths and diseases. Venus also represents things that you do on a day-to-day basis. This Venus is making a transit in your second house of wealth, of family, your possessions. It is the house of storage, things that you like to store and things that you like to share with your loved ones. Mercury, on the other hand, which is your second and the fifth lord, both these planets are very important and also favorable planets for you. Mercury becomes a Yoga Karaka planet because it's your second lord of wealth and also fifth lord of future. So money related matters, Mercury plays a very important role as far as Taurus ascendants are concerned. About your family, about your future, your positional success, which we also see from the fifth house. We also see mantras from the fifth house. So both these planets making a positive transit in your second house in the sign of Gemini itself is an indicator of forming a nice, powerful Dhan Yoga during this time. So in case you are in a situation wherein you have to take some loans or get into debts in order to manage your business or manage your ventures, this could be a potentially favorable time in case your Dasha Antardasha is supportive to take these decisions. In case you already have a loan, you might see a repaying capacity during this time through some or the other sources. So you will have resources in order to repay your loans during this time. So another factor is that if you are in a job, this time period could create favorable circumstances as far as a rise in your income is concerned or an increment is concerned. You might also want to make some good long-term financial decisions during this time. So in case you're venturing out in making some investments, make that and think about the long term and go for certain safe options during this time, because there is a positive Dhan Yoga as far as this time period is concerned. See, one of the things that you have to be very mindful of is your relationship. So you might tend to deviate from your path of relationship, because here Venus tries to bring a person to having multiple relationships. So this is something which you have to take care of and not get any sort of involvement in indulgence or any extravagance, or particularly those people who are married. So you have to take care of yourself and control your desires during this time, channelize them in appropriate direction. One of the things that you would be having is your speech would be very positive. You would leverage the power of your communication and also interaction in building some long-lasting relationships during this time. Though Venus will be combust most part of the transit, so you'll have to put in a lot more efforts as far as fixing some of these things are concerned. Both Venus and Mercury, while being placed in the second house in transit, are aspecting your 8th house. They desire transformation. They desire you to deal and cope up with any sudden changes that you might come across with. Those people who are trying to study astrology, this could be a potentially favorable time, because we see knowledge of past and future from the 8th house, mysterious things from the 8th house. So try not to be secretive. If you are secretive for your own benefit, then it is fine. Otherwise, you need to be very much communicative. For those who are consultants, this could be a potentially good time, because a lot of people will come to you to take advice. So you can expand your venture, business, or of course, if you're in a job, you can have growth opportunities as well if you are in any form of advisory or consulting related work. So this could be a potentially favorable time for you. Overall, I do see this as a very positive transit. From a remedy point of view, you can use mantras during this time, either Venus or Mercury, or you could use mantras of either Lakshmi or Vishnu, because these are the two deities which these planets represent. It is quite a favorable time when Venus and Mercury are coming together in transit in this house. I hope you make the most of it. Let's now talk about Gemini ascendants. For Gemini ascendants, Venus becomes an important planet because it is the only Yoga Karaka planet. Your fifth lord, lord of future, love, progress. We see authoritative position from the fifth house. We also see creative pursuits from the fifth house. It is also the house of mantras. Venus also rules 12th house of higher self-consciousness, your ability to help others, give, your losses and expenditure. Mercury is also making a transit along with Venus in your first house in the sign of Gemini itself. Mercury is your first lord and the fourth lord, the lord of yourself, which is your Lagnesha. It plays a very important role because it rules your overall body, your personality, your brain, intelligence, and also fourth house of happiness, comforts, your mother, homeland. Some of these significations where you feel most protected and most comfortable. These two Rajasic planets are coming in your first house in the ascendant itself. Mercury gains directional strength in the first house. Therefore, there are blessings of the Devata all throughout most of the part of June when Mercury is in transit in this house. Venus is also coming together with Mercury in your ascendant. So this is an opportunity transit for you, particularly second half of June when both these planets are transiting in your ascendant. This will ensure that your personality comes out very strongly as far as your management capabilities is concerned, as far as your ability to influence others are concerned. You are likely to attract masses as far as your influential capabilities are concerned. Whenever such benefic planets or Rajasic planets come in the ascendant, this applies to all the ascendants. It is an opportunity for us to look at our personality traits, try to understand our strengths and build on our strengths, and also at the same time be very conscious of how we carry ourselves, how we present ourselves to others, because Venus is all about eloquence in our presentation, in our appearance, and Mercury is about communication. So when both these come together, we have the ability to make great impression on other people. So this is the kind of opportunity transit which is there for you. Both these planets are creating a yoga in transit. You have your fifth lord coming in ascendant, you have your fourth lord and the Lagna lord coming in the ascendant itself. One of the things that you must do, because your 12th lord is transiting in the ascendant, is take care of your expenditure. Avoid unnecessary expenditure in luxuries or in irrelevant things. Avoid any kind of impulsive decisions as far as buying is concerned. Make sure that your expenditure is only that which is legitimate, which is important for you. So this is something which you have to be very careful of during this time. You can worship Lakshmi, you can also worship Vishnu during this time, which will be highly beneficial for you. So any mantras that you use with regards to and related to Lakshmi, you can also read Shri Suktam during this time, which will be highly beneficial for you during this transit. Both Mercury and Venus are aspecting your 7th house of marriage, partnership, relationship. There's high desire as far as relationship pursuits are concerned, as far as getting favors from those people who are opposite to you are concerned. Those people in foreign lands also are concerned. So you need to make the most of it by your interaction and by your communication. Those who are looking forward to getting into a new relationship, there could be favorable circumstances. Those who are already married, you could see some sort of developments or improvement as far as communication within your life is concerned. So may you make the most of it. I consider this as an opportunity transit. Once in a few months is an opportunity, or a few years rather, when Mercury Venus will come together in your ascendant, and I wish you the very best. Now let's talk about Cancer ascendants. For Cancer ascendants, Venus becomes the 4th lord and the 11th lord. It is more of a neutral graha. Venus rules your house of happiness, comfort, your Sukha Bhava, the house of mother or homeland, which is the 4th house where you feel most protected. Also the 11th lord of gains, your wider social network, your bigger enemies, because 11th house is 6th from the 6th house. Mercury is also making a transit in your 12th house along with Venus. Now Mercury becomes your 3rd lord and the 12th lord. Mercury is more of that planet which represents valor, your efforts, which is all the third house matters, your ability to grow, any change that is there in the shortcoming. 12th lord, which is the lord of expenditure, losses, your higher self-consciousness, your ability to help others, your ability to donate, your sleep, and all kinds of comforts that are there as far as your bedroom is concerned. Now these two planets are making a transit in your 12th house itself, 12th house of higher self-consciousness. We also see losses, expenditure from the 12th house. So both Rajasic energies are there in your 12th house. Your expenditure is inevitable during this time. You will not be able to control as far as your expenses are concerned, but you have to be very conscious in terms of making certain decisions in terms of where you would like to make your spend your money. So if it is about helping others, if it is about for your greater good, your family and those people who you would like to protect, let's say your mother and your friends, it is good expenditure. If it is on extravagance and something which is unnecessary, you might be in a position that you would regret at a later point in time. Mercury, which is your third lord and also your 12th lord in the 12th house, it is forming a Viparita yoga during this transit. So things could be a bit challenging as far as relationship with other people are concerned, whether it is your spouse or those people who you work with, even your friends. You can have some conflicting situations. Things could be adverse, but eventually you will rise out of this situation because this Mercury is being supported by Venus. Venus does very well in the 12th house because this is the natural house of Venus's exaltation. So it is still in a good state. It is moving out from its own sign. It is entering its best friend sign. Both Venus and Mercury are best of friends. They're also neighbors because the sign of Taurus and Gemini and also Virgo and Libra are adjacent to each other. So from that aspect, it is going to bring in some sort of support element as far as Mercury related matters are concerned. But later half of June could be a bit challenging because you will also have Sun entering your 12th house, which is the Maran Karaka position for Sun, and Venus will be combust for most part till about end of June during this time. So you will have to put in a lot more efforts as far as your communication is concerned. You will have to think and speak with other people. Just be conscious of the outcome and how it is going to have an impact on your overall relationship with those people. Both Venus and Mercury are aspecting your 6th house by their 7th aspect of desire. So a lot of desire in 6th house related matters, daily routines, your deaths and diseases. Your health needs to be of prime focus during this time. Self-care is healthcare. This is what I always say. So both these energies are giving you a message that you have to put certain things on track. You have to manage your lifestyle and your daily routine during this time to avoid any sort of health repercussions during this time. And the changes that you will be able to bring in your life are going to be long lasting, are going to make you more disciplined and more focused towards your overall well-being. One of the remedies you can do is to clean up your house and declutter your space during this time. Overall, I do see it as a mixed transit, but as in when you will spend more time, you will be able to rise off adverse circumstances, and I wish you the very best. Now let us talk about Leo ascendants. For Leo ascendants, Venus is an important planet, more of a neutral planet though, because Venus has two lordships. It is the ruler of the 3rd house of your efforts, valor, courage, any sort of change. Your siblings are also seen from the 3rd house. Things that we do from our hands are also seen from the 3rd house. Venus also rules the 10th house of karma, your overall actions in the society, the job that you do, your profession, your work, or anything you do to sustain yourself and your family in this world is seen from the 10th house. It is your karmesha. So Venus becomes an important planet for Leo ascendants. Mercury, which is your 2nd lord and the 11th lord. Mercury plays a very important role in wealth related matters for Leo ascendants. Thankfully, it shares a friendly relationship with your Lagna lord Surya. Mercury is your lord of wealth, which is 2nd lord, family, your possessions, things that you store, and of course share with others. We also see food or what you consume from the 2nd house. Mercury rules your 11th house of Labha, your income, your possessions, your material comforts, and of course your relationship with your friends, your wider social network, your ability to influence others. We also see recognition, rewards from the 11th house. Both these planets are making a transit in your 11th house itself. There is a pretty simple rule. 11th house, any planet that is making a transit or if it is placed there, it generally does very well unless it has some severe afflictions. So these two planets are benefic planets from a natural perspective. There are a lot of Rajasic energies as far as 11th house matters are concerned. So one thing which is quite essential is for you to build your wider social network or the power of influencing others. So if you're in the business of social media marketing, or if you use any kind of marketing to promote your work, or if you're an influencer, or if you're an influencer, this could be a potentially favorable time for you to expand your wider social network and create more followers, build them organically during this time. There are a lot of Rajas energies. In case you're expecting a change in your work or your job, or if you're expecting an increment or a rise in your income, this time period could create favorable circumstances. So if you're looking forward to a change from a financial point of view, this time could favor you in case your Dasha Antardasha is supportive during this time. Mercury is going to put your management capabilities in order to create circumstances or situations which are favorable for gains of all kind during this time. One thing that you have to be mindful of is avoid any kind of overindulgence, avoid any kind of extravagance, and avoid any kind of bad habits during this time that could have repercussions towards your health and well-being. So be very careful if you get involved in any kind of substance, any kind of indulgence, or it could be related to smoking, it could be related to excessive drinking. So I mean, these are some of the things which you have to take control of during this time for your own well-being. So anything that you overdo is not good for you. Right, this is something which you must understand. Both Mercury and Venus during this time are aspecting your 5th house. Lot of desire in future related aspects or pursuits. Your communication, your ability and interaction with others, your eloquence, your overall personality is going to decide your future. So it is an excellent time to put down some of the goals that you have and the desires that you have for the next few months. What is that you're trying to achieve during this time? Any mantras that you use are going to be favorable for you. Now mantras would either be dependent on your 5th lord, that is Guru or Jupiter for you, or they would be dependent on Venus and Mercury's natal position in your chart. But if you use these mantras, you are likely to be benefited during this time. With a job change or certain situation within your current organization, you can also have a positional rise or a rise in terms of your overall status. This is also something which this planetary transit is indicating, because there are Dhan yogas which are pretty much active, and that Dhan yoga is very much linked to your work and how that will progress and prosper during this time. Overall, it's a great transit and I wish you the very best. Now let's talk about Virgo ascendants. For Virgo ascendants, Venus is an important planet because it's your 2nd lord and your 9th lord, the lord of wealth, family, your possessions, how you store, what you eat, what you consume, and your overall family matters. Also your 9th lord, which is the lord of fortune, dharma, higher learning, father or father figure, long distance journeys, your overall bhagya is making a transit in your 10th house. Now this is in conjunction with Mercury. Mercury for Virgo ascendants becomes your 1st lord and the 10th lord, the lord of yourself, your lagna, because Mercury rules Gemini and also the sign of Virgo. Your overall intelligence, your decision making capabilities, your body, vitality, your personality. 10th house and its lord represent your work, your ability to sustain and survive in this world, your actions in the society, your profession, and what kind of work is that you do. It is all about that. It is the house of success. It is also called one of the Rajya Bhavas, or a king-like status or position that you could have during this time. Both Mercury and Venus are making a transit in the 10th house. So this is quite an important month for you, Virgo ascendants, because there are 2 natural benefics, both Rajasic planets coming in your 10th house. Success at your workplace is inevitable in case your Dasha Antardasha is supportive during this time. In case Venus, Mercury, even Sun or Saturn are playing a role in your Dasha Antardasha, this could be a potentially favorable time for you as far as workplace pursuits are concerned. Because on one hand, the lord of your wealth is making a transit in your 10th house. The lord of your bhagya is making a transit in your 10th house. The lord of 10th house is making a transit in the 10th house. forming a very powerful dharma karma yoga. When your 9th lord and 10th lord are connected, either in the natal chart or even in transit, it could bring in some very long lasting results during this time. Though it's a very short period as far as this conjunction in transit is concerned, but if you put in some efforts to build credible relationship, to increase your visibility or your ability to work, you could have some long lasting success during this time. If in case you're looking forward to changing your job, having a new job or change of workplace, or even moving bases or location, if you're looking forward to settling outside of your home country, foreign lands, or moving abroad, or trying to deal with those people who are from foreign lands or foreigners, this could be a potentially favorable time for you. Any delay that has been going on as far as paperwork is concerned now could progress, because your bhagya is favorable during this time along with your lagna. You have to just take care of your health. There could be some minor health repercussions that could be there during this time, but you must remember Mercury is the significator, primary significator of the 10th house, and this is quite a powerful transit for you this time. Both Mercury and Venus are aspecting your 4th house by the 7th aspect. So a lot of desire is there for you to be in your comfort space. However, you should not be in your comfort space. You should do things that could give you and get you more visibility at your workplace. But at the same time, make sure you spend enough time to take account of your hobbies and do things which make you feel happy, that make you feel content. Try to strengthen your relationship with your mother or those people from your homeland. And also one of the aspects for you is to have plenty of plants at your home during this time. Either you could have it in the balcony or the terrace or indoors. Another remedy would be to keep a white flower plant at your home during this time. And this is something which you could benefit with, because plants are generally represented by Mercury and a white flower is represented by Venus during this time. Another exercise that you could usually run is to clean up your house. Have a very clean and of course neat house and do it yourself. The other remedy is clean desk. Okay, try to organize and reorganize your desk during this time. Even if it is organized, try to move some of the things around. Make sure that it is clean. Make sure from an appearance point of view, it looks quite nice to other people. And this is how it will bring you some good results. In case you work remotely or virtually, take care of your background, of course, surroundings, and how you present yourself over Zoom calls and meetings as well. So this is going to be a phenomenal time for you, and I wish you the very best. Let us now talk about Libra ascendants and how Venus and Mercury's transit is going to play a role for Libra ascendants. For the key dates, you can watch the first few minutes of the video in terms of what the key dates are. For Libra, Venus is an important planet because it's your Lagna Lord, the Lord of your ascendant. Venus rules your first house, the Lord of yourself, your overall body, personality, vitality, immunity, and this is where your brain sits, your intelligence. Venus also rules your 8th house. It has a dual lordship. It rules the sign of Taurus, which is your Ayush, longevity. This is the house of transformation, changes which are very sudden in nature, the secret knowledge of this world, hidden truths, hidden secrets. It makes a person very mysterious as well. We also see Jyotish or astrology from the 8th house. Venus becomes your 8th lord as well. Mercury is your 9th lord and the 12th lord. It is your Bhagyesha. It is the ruler of your fortune, father or father figure, long journeys. And it is also the ruler of your 12th house, which is the house of higher self-consciousness, higher learning, your ability to help others, donate others, your house of sleep, or how you rest and recharge yourself to do better in life. Both these planets are making a transit in your 9th house of Bhagya, fortune, long journey. So it is quite an important transit because these two planets do very well in the 9th house from a placement point of view, because they are natural benefics, and also from a transit point of view, they are forming a nice Raja Yoga during this time in the 9th house. Fortune is favorable to Libra ascendants. However, they will have to put in a lot more efforts as far as protecting this fortune or elevating this fortune is concerned, because Venus is going to be under combustion till about 28th of June during this time. So you might have to put in a lot more efforts. You might feel a situation of burnout. So this is something which you have to take care of. Take a short journey, go for a relaxation technique or meditation, some sort of spiritual way that you could have. If nothing works, go out for a walk, connect with the nature, right? Try to do these kind of things which will help you reduce this burnout and not get into that kind of state. Because see, transformation is inevitable during this time. You need to transform. Mercury's transit, which is your ninth lord, being transiting in the ninth house itself, is quite favorable for you if it is about taking some long journeys. If it is also about your ability to settle outside of your home country, if you're trying to do that, this time period could create positive and favorable circumstances for you to make that move. You might get support from seniors or your bosses at your workplace. So make sure that you reach out to them. Make sure that you connect with them for any help or support that you need during this time. Situation is favorable from a transit point of view in case your dasha antardasha is supportive. Both Mercury and Venus are aspecting your third house during this time. A lot of desires are there in third house matters. So you might need to put in a lot more efforts. You might love to put in a lot more efforts during this time. You will not shy away from doing it. So keep doing it. Expand your communication. Third house is also the house of lust. So this is one thing or area that you have to take care of during this time. This is more of a relationship karma for you. Similar to Aries ascendants, for Libra ascendants also, this is more of a relationship karma or a relationship time during this time. Okay. In case you have a mentor or a guide, get message from them. Try to reach out and take their help and guidance and advice, which could help you make some good decisions during this time. Overall, I do consider this as a very positive transit. From a remedy point of view, any worship that you do with regards to Lakshmi, Durga, Shakti or any Devi would be extremely beneficial for you during this time, and I wish you the very best. Now let us talk about Scorpio ascendants. For Scorpio ascendants, Venus becomes the ruler of the 7th house and the 12th house. Therefore, Venus plays a very important role in all relationship matters for Scorpio ascendants. Mercury becomes the ruler of the 8th house and the 11th house. Mercury plays a very important role as far as transformation is concerned, as far as gains of all kinds is concerned. Venus is the ruler of marriage, partnership, it's your 7th lord, and also the 12th lord of your bed comforts, your sleep, your higher self-consciousness, the ability to give others, and this applies in relationship as well. Such people from a natural perspective are very giving in nature as far as relationship matters are concerned, and this is something which I have genuinely and usually seen about Scorpio ascendants. They are very much giving in nature. They might have very minimum expectations from their partners, but they are more giving. Now Mercury becomes your 8th lord of Ayush, transformation, sudden changes, sudden ups and downs, secret places, places which are across the sea, foreign and distant lands, far off places. It's also your 11th lord. 11th lord of gains, your wider social network, your friends, your ability to influence others, your material comforts. So though both Mercury and Venus are not the best of planets for Scorpio ascendants, and these two planets are making a transit in your 8th house itself, 8th house of secrets, sudden changes, longevity, Ayush. Now both these planets are natural benefic in nature. So from that point, they do not do bad as far as 8th house is concerned. And here Mercury is making a transit in its own sign of Gemini, which is creating a Viparita yoga in transit. Things could become uncertain for you. You would see uncertainty first few days of the transit. You might have to go to an extreme low situation during this time, but eventually you will rise, because there is a Viparita yoga during this time. Because both Venus is also creating this Viparita yoga, because it's your 12th lord making a transit in the 8th house. Venus is going to be combust. They both will also join Sun. So there are very heavy energies in your 8th house during this time. Transformation is inevitable. You will be most uncomfortable in the first 2 weeks of this transit, but you have to brace yourself. Have plenty of resilience, perseverance, practice patience, and wait for it to pass by. It's a short transit towards the end, but then eventually it will help you rise. It will help you be more change ready for anything in future, because your resilience quotient will really increase during this time. Both Mercury and Venus are aspecting your 2nd house during this time by its 7th aspect of desire. So they desire wealth, they desire income, and also a lot of time that you have to spend with your family and those people who you love. One of the remedy for you could be to watch what you eat. try to fix your either eating routine or things that you have been consuming that can have a direct impact on your well-being and also wealth related matters. See, from an income point of view, from a wealth point of view, it is still supportive in case you're expecting any kind of increment. It could happen in a very sudden manner. In case you have certain discussions going on or certain things related to inheritance, this could be a potentially favorable time for you. In case you wish to learn astrology, occult, tarot reading, any of the ancient sciences, this is an extremely favorable time for you to learn, because Venus does well in the 8th house. It is the only planet that attained the knowledge of Mrit Sanjeevani. So, it makes you of course rise for good during this time. But overall, there are very heavy energies in the 8th house which can bring in uncertainty, which could bring in sudden change. Whether it will be good or bad would depend on your ongoing dasha antardasha. So, from that point, it is more of a mixed transit, and I wish you the very best. Now, let us talk about Sagittarius ascendants. For Sagittarius ascendants, Venus becomes a potent malefic planet. I always say this because it's Jupiter ruled signs, and it is vice versa. For Venusian signs, Jupiter is a potent malefic. Venus becomes your 6th lord and the 11th lord here, the lord of daily routines, deaths and diseases, things that you do on a day-to-day basis. We see job from the 6th house as well. We see a lot of enemies of your mind, greed, lust, anger, some of these things from the 6th house. So, therefore, on a positive note, 6th house also indicates growth because it's an upachaya bhava. It indicates enemies and also competition, your ability to surpass and win over your competition. Venus also rules your 11th house of material gains, of comfort, of income, aya bhava, your friends, your wider social network. Mercury, which is your 7th and the 10th lord, the ruler of partnership, marriage, relationship, those people who are opposite to you, and also your 10th lord of work, your profession, it's your karmesha, things that you do to survive and sustain in this world, your overall job, and how successful will you be as far as workplace endeavors are concerned. Both Venus and Mercury are making a transit in your 7th house. Now, we must understand Venus is the planet which is a significator of the 7th house. So, during this time, it is playing a very important role. As far as signification of the 7th house is concerned, it is in a very comfortable position, right? Because being the significator, secondly, it is in the friendly sign. It is moved out from the 6th house where it was Maran Karaka. Now, it has entered a much more comfortable space. So, a lot of relationship karma during this time. Mercury is not considered ideal in the 7th house, but here Mercury will be conjoined Venus, so it is getting support of Venus. You will also have Sun coming in the 7th house and Venus being combust during this time, but Sun's position in 7th house is weak, so I do not expect a significant effect as far as combustion is concerned for Sagittarius ascendants. Venus will also continue to support Mercury, so those who are in a relationship, it is a lot of karmic repercussions that you have during this time, that you have to communicate with your partner, mend certain ties, strengthen your current relationship, take favors from those people who are opposite to you. And also from a business point of view, if you have a business, you might be in a position to make some important decisions in terms of how you can become better from your competition, how you have an edge, whether you have some products or services, how you can represent yourself and go through a kind of transformation or make plans to transform your work or business in order to become successful in your endeavors. Now, this is from a placement or a position perspective. Those who are looking forward to getting married or finding a potential match or a relationship is concerned, this could be a potentially favorable time for you. And also, if you're in a job, you could have some sort of change either internally, or if you're looking for a new opportunity, this could create some favorable circumstances for you, that you start receiving some calls, some interviews that could be lined up for you, and you need to leverage your management capabilities and your communication in these discussions. You have to do these things differently, innovatively. So, if you have a resume, try to change it, try to leverage technology and try to understand what is happening, what is latest and what is in trend, what is quite useful from a system and a technology point of view. This is something which is very important for you to understand. Both Venus and Mercury are aspecting your Lagna, your ascendant, and there's a lot of desire for you to change your overall personality, how you present yourself. So you have to be very conscious of the fact that first you understand your strengths. Do a SWOT analysis for yourself. Try to understand your strengths, your weaknesses, areas of improvement, what are those opportunities for you, and build on your strengths. Do an overall personality assessment for your own self and how you could improve, how you could consciously present yourself in a manner that you're well groomed and you're an effective communicator at the same time. This is the kind of mixed energies which are highly essential for your transformation, which could make you a better person and a better professional. Overall, it's more of a mixed transit, but as and when the time will pass, would progress, it will get better for you, and I wish you the very best. Let's now talk about Capricorn ascendants. For Capricorn ascendants, both Venus and Mercury are very important planets. Venus is your 5th lord and the 10th lord. It is the Yoga Karaka planet. It is the ruler of your future, your ability to become successful in life, because both 5th and 10th houses, they represent progress, they represent kingdom. 5th house is also the house of mantras, your overall progress. 10th house is the house of work, your karmas, your actions in the society, and things that you do to sustain yourself in this world. Mercury, on the other hand, is your 6th lord and the 9th lord, your lord of daily routines, your efforts, and of course things that you do on a day-to-day basis. Deaths and diseases, your competition, your enemies are also seen from the 6th house. Mercury also rules your 9th house, which is your Bhagyesha, ruler of fortune, lord of fortune, father of father figure, long journeys, your dharma, lineage, and how fortunate will you be as far as some of the life pursuits are concerned. Both these planets are making a transit in your 6th house itself, in the sign of Gemini, which is the house of daily routines, deaths and diseases, competition, job, and of course things that keep you busy all throughout the day. We also see some hidden things and those things which are quite opposite in nature from a positive state of mind are concerned. So these are enemies of your mind, such as greed, anger, lust, some of these things. So one thing which is very clear during this time is that Venus is considered Maran Karaka in the 6th house. So from a transit point of view, it is not an ideal placement for Venus, because one, it is going Maran Karaka during this time. Secondly, it will be combust by Surya or Sun till most of June. 28th of June is when Venus will move out of combustion. So this time you will have to put in a lot more efforts as far as your work is concerned, as far as your future is concerned, as far as your ability to become successful is concerned, because it's a kind of a double whammy situation for you. But things are not that bad as well, because both Venus and Mercury are good grahas for you, are positive grahas for you, and towards the end they will create an opportunity over the next few weeks. I expect things to get better from July onwards, but June is still going to be little bit challenging. Your Bhagyesha is moving in the 6th house. Okay, so as far as there are certain opposition, if you have been seeing or witnessing from other people, that is going to reduce significantly during this time. Okay, you will start to see some sort of developments in terms of overcoming your enemies or any sort of opposition, but you will have to put in a lot more efforts. It is creating a Viparita yoga for you during this time, okay, which means that things could not be in favor, things could be opposite to what you think it should be, it could bring you down to your lowest, but eventually you will rise, right? Again, it's not that bad, because many a times these challenges are for greater good. So I would advise you to relax, to meditate, go out for a walk, connect with the nature, take a break, go on a vacation in the month of June. This is a perfect time, because both Venus and Mercury are aspecting your 12th house. So any travel plans that you make to visit another country or a place, or any isolated places as well, it will be good for you for your overall mindfulness and your mental strength. Try to help others, those who are in need. Make donations with regards to items associated to Venus and Mercury. You will get some maximum benefits during this time. So for example, things that you could donate related to Venus could be white rice or white sugar. Okay, so these are some of the things which you could do during this time. Help those who are in need. And Meditation is the key. Spiritual growth is the key during this time. The more spiritual you become, you will gain mental strength and the ability to cope up with any challenging times during this time. Overall, I feel it's a mixed transit for you, but as and when time will progress, July onwards, I expect things to get much more better, and I wish you the very best. Now let us talk about Aquarius ascendants. For Aquarius ascendants, Venus is an important planet. It is a Yoga Karaka planet. Even Mercury is a very important planet. Venus is your 4th lord and the 9th lord, the ruler of your comfort space, your mother, those places where you feel most protected, your homeland. It is your Sukha Bhava. Venus also rules your 9th house of fortune, Bhagya, father figure, long distance travel or journeys, your higher learning. And this Venus is making a transit in your 5th house of future, along with Mercury, which is your 5th lord of future, children, your creativity. It is a progressive house because this house represents positional success. It is also the house of corruption because with positional success comes corruption as well. Mercury also rules your 8th house, which is the ruler of your longevity or Ayush, your overall transformation, sudden changes, and those things which are very secretive in nature, that are hidden in nature. And both these planets are making a transit in your 5th house. They are forming a nice yoga in transit. It is also a Dhan yoga, it is also a Bhagya yoga during this time. So a lot of things which are related to your future. So now is the time for you to really pen down some of those things that you'd like to do in future, which are connected to your happiness, which are connected to your fortune, and which are anyways connected to your future, because that is something which is pretty much supportive. For those who have children, you will see your relationship become more strengthened or better with your children are concerned. Your children are going to have some sort of favors during this time or some sort of benefit during this time. Those who are looking forward to having a child, this could be a potentially favorable time or a window for you in case your ongoing Dasha Antardasha is supportive. This transit can also support you in attaining positional success during this time. The only remedy for you could be any mantras that you use, whether it is related to Lakshmi or Vishnu during this time. A very simple mantra for you could be, either you could use it in the morning or you could use it before going to bed, is Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Simple Vishnu mantra. It is extremely beneficial for you during this time. The other mantra which is very simple for you could be Om Lakshmaye Namah. So this is also something which you could use during this time, which could bring you certain benefits. Both Venus and Mercury are aspecting your 11th house. Lot of desires as far as 11th house matters are concerned. Your ability to gain, influence people, your wider social network. So if you are in the business of social media marketing, or if you're an influencer, this is an opportunity for you to really come up with some viral content or potential content that can go viral or that can increase your followers during this time. So be more creative in whatever you're doing, because your creative quotient is going to be at a higher side. You will have to put in some efforts to fix and manage your relationship with other people, with your friends and people at your workplace, because Venus is going to be combust most of the time during this time. But Sun is going to be in a positive placement in the 5th house while Venus is combust. So look up to Sun, offer water to the Sun and channelize your Venus accordingly. This is again a remedy for you, which is very important during this time. Overall, I consider this as a positive transit and I wish you the very best. Let us now talk about Pisces ascendants. For Pisces ascendants, Venus is a potent malefic because it's your 3rd lord and the 8th lord, two of the not so good houses, because 3rd lord is not considered very positive, though it's a good house from a growth point of view. Because 3rd lord rules change, it rules efforts, it rules valor, courage, and it also rules things that you do from your hands. It is also your 8th lord of Ayush or longevity and sudden changes, sudden ups and downs in life, okay, sudden events which could be unpleasant or could be pleasant as well, which would be dependent on your ongoing time period that is there. It's a lot of uncertainty that is represented by the 8th house or its matters. Now this Venus is making a transit in the 4th house along with Mercury. Mercury becomes your 4th lord and the 7th lord. Mercury is also more of a neutral graha for Pisces ascendants. It's your 4th lord of happiness, comfort, sukh bhava, mother, your homeland. It is also your 7th lord of marriage, partnership, relationship, harmony, those people who are opposite to you. Mercury for Pisces ascendants is suffering usually from a Kendra dosha, Kendra Adhipati dosha, but it really depends on the kind of placement Mercury has in the chart. Now, both these planets are making a transit in your 4th house. So, there are two conditions here. Okay, Venus gains directional strength in the 4th house. Mercury on the other side is considered Maran Karaka in the 4th house, though thankfully this Mercury is being supported by Venus. But Venus is working in its full potential during this time, making a transit in the 4th house where it gains directional strength. So, they are blessings of the Devata. So, in case you have been having some delays as far as you've put in efforts and you do not see the outcome, your efforts are being wasted, now you will start to see some sort of real time efforts which can bring you satisfaction more at the mental level, that could bring in peace in your life, harmony and a sense of comfort that you have been eyeing for since a long time. Mercury, in spite of being Maran Karak, is being supported by Venus and also by Sun, which will be transiting in your 4th house. So, interestingly, Venus is going to be combust most of the time, but Sun is at a position where it loses direction and Venus is gaining direction during this time. So, I do not see a huge impact for Pisces ascendants as far as combustion is concerned. Your 7th lord is moving in the 4th house, which is Mercury. So, listen to your partner, take their advice and try to strengthen the relationship which you have. That will be very useful for you. Both Venus and Mercury, by their 7th aspect of desire, are aspecting your 10th house of work, profession, your actions in the society. So, they desire work, they desire improvement or change. That is a good change in your work. So, in case you are looking forward to changing your job or getting into a new role, so you could see yourself getting into your new role as well. You could see yourself shifting your base from one country to the other or making a move from one place to the other during this time, in case your dasha antardasha is supportive. Whether it will be a good move, it will bring you comfort or discomfort, will be dependent on your ongoing dasha antardasha, but you could expect some sort of work related changes during this time. As a remedy, you must declutter your house, you must clean your house, you must try and keep things organized. Also buy some new indoor green plants for your house and also get a white flower that you could put in the indoors. As far as remedy is concerned, offer water or arga to Surya or Sun first thing in the morning. During this time, you will gain some benefits of this transit. Overall, I see this as a positive transit and I wish you the very best. So, this was a unique transit video on the upcoming transit of Venus and Mercury in the sign of Gemini, and I hope and believe both Venus and Mercury forming a nice yoga in the dual sign of Gemini, in the very communicative and expressive sign of Gemini, brings a sense of eloquence and expands our communication, our management capability, and also ensure whatever efforts that we put in anything makes us successful towards the end. Once again, thank you for subscribing. If you like this video, please share it with your friends. Thank you very much. God bless you all.